Good afternoon. You're listening to Listed by Mina Kuper, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM. Thank you so much for everyone who watches and listens to my show every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. We're about trust, probate, divorce, real estate, and more. And today I'm honored to have someone who I recently met who is just blew me away with her knowledge and her kind ways, and inviting her to be on the show to talk about trust probate matters. Denise Moore is a probate attorney over at Reynolds and Associates, and I'm very excited to have her join us. So, Denise, hi. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Mina, and thank you for having me. I am here from Reynolds and Associates.
Yes, and I wanted to talk about probate. You know, I know people have a lot of questions regarding, probate matters. And I think, we're all so busy. And until, they have to take a look and see what exactly that is, because there may be an issue coming up or potential issue in the future or happening right now, they want to know, well, what is probate?
Yes, that is a term that we hear bounced around a lot. And probate is basically a court proceeding that is going to determine how to distribute the property of the owner of the property who died. In our whole country, in fact, land has to be transferred by a written instrument. And so when someone dies, that person can no longer execute an instrument to transfer their property. And so they should have done it or could have done it before they died, which is by a will or a trust, or afterwards the court will determine how that distribution will go. And that's what the probate is. It is a court proceeding.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and of course, the courts were on lockdown. I know they're opening up now a little bit. Are they, Denise? Things are getting a little smoother?
Yes, we've actually been doing remote court appearances, which has been a very smooth process.
That's great.
And actually one of our associates went down to the courthouse today, and she reported that things look like they're almost back to normal in terms of the crowd of people that she ran into there.
That could be disappointing too, right? The crowds.
Yes.
So what types of things would the court look for, and what would happen in a probate case?
Well, the first thing the court is looking for, as I said, we're looking for some type of writing by which we can transfer the property. And Mina, we're talking in this context about real property mostly, but the things that I say relate to real or personal property, and personal property being anything that's not real estate. But let's talk about real estate. They're looking for a will or a trust, first of all, to see if the person who died, who is called the decedent, if the decedent left a directive for transferring that property. And they're going to determine the validity of the document, whether it was signed properly, executed properly, whether the correct intention was expressed. And they're going to determine who are the heirs or the beneficiaries under the writing. And if there isn't a writing, then those heirs or beneficiaries would be determined by law, sort of like it is like a next of kin thing. And then they're going to value the estate. They're going to settle the debts of the decedent, and then the court will transfer the property out. So the big thing is to look at the writing and to determine what we can about the intended distribution of the property from the writing.
Got it. So the first thing you mentioned was the existence of a will or a trust. What's the difference between the two? And I think this is always a question. And can you have both, right?
You can have both, and you should have both. because a will is a directive, and a trust is a contract. It's a little different. You can sit down and write your will and say, this is what I want to have done. And as long as you have it properly witnessed and signed, it'll be fine. A trust, on the other hand, is a contract. It's a contract between the person who has died, but it would have been made when they were living, and a trusted person. And that person becomes your trustee. And what happens in a trust, the significant difference, is that you will then have to transfer property into the trust. And the trust becomes the owner of the property at that point. The individual doesn't own the property anymore. The trustee actually owns that property as a legal owner for the benefit of those beneficiaries that would have been named in the trust. They both express a person's intentions regarding the distribution of their property. A trust does not require a probate proceeding. The will must be probated. If you want to distribute property, you must bring the will into court. On the other hand, a trust being a contract, as long as that contract is being executed successfully with no challenges, the trustee could go forward and manage that estate without ever invoking any court assistance. However, if there is a need to have the court come in and make a determination, either because someone has filed an objection or raise some other issue, then it becomes a probate like a will contest or a will administration as well. Trusts offer privacy. That's why people like to use trusts, because they're not made public. And traditionally they had offered some protection against creditors, although nowadays those protections are broken down a little. And so you're not able to hide behind a trust if you do, in fact, incur debts. Basically, those are the differences between the two.
And how long, once a person has passed away and the trust is in effect, they go to an attorney, or the people file an opportunity that they should have been involved in, right? So it goes to probate, or the title is not in the name of the property and the trust, I should say. And do you ever have a person just go ahead and sell it without really, even though people are contesting it? I mean, and if they do get away with it, let's say Sam is the trustee, and he hurries up, and the house is the name of the trust, and all of a sudden he sells the house really quick, and then they find out after the fact that it was contested, right? So, went ahead and did all that. Do they have recourse if someone does get away with doing that?
Well, first of all, we hope that wouldn't happen. If a trustee is required to give out notices, but only to beneficiaries of the trust. So, for example, and they must give out notice in 100, I think it's 120 days of the death of the settlor. The person that makes the trust is called the trustor or the settlor. Within 120 days, the trustee is going to send out a notice that says, hey, I'm going to begin administering the trust. And when they send out that notice to the beneficiaries will be made aware that something is going on. Now, if a person wasn't named in the trust, they may not get notice, and in that instance, if they didn't find out that the trustee was administering the estate, they could still come in and challenge the administration if they have good grounds for challenging it. If the property's already been sold, then the court would trace the distribution. But again, this would only be if there are some malfeasance that has happened.
Right.
And that would mean that either someone felt that the trust was obtained illicitly and it wasn't a valid trust, and in which case they would be challenging the trust itself. You may not be able to get that exact asset back, but you could trace the funds. And yes, the question that you asked, is there recourse? For the trustee, there is recourse because the trustee has a fiduciary duty to the beneficiaries. But if it's found that a person who has been tasked with being a trusted fiduciary, if it's found that they have violated that trust, then there are damages that can be sought against them for that. But challenging a trust, you can't just do it because you don't like the trustee. There has to be some good grounds for challenging.
So do you, I know I've heard stories where somebody was named a trustee to administrative a trust, and then that person was living with the mom or dad, and they said that they changed the trust all of a sudden, and then a year later the person dies, and they were not the administrator, and then they try to sell the house. I mean, this has happened, and I told the individual that they really need to not do that because, there is being contested, even though you may think your sisters are crazy or whatever the story is and that your mom did change the trust. I said, because, that's not appropriate. If it's being contested, that needs to go through a legal situation because, that happens quite often, I think, where people are living in the house with a adult who may be ill and requires assistance, and then the other people who don't live far, who live further away or are busy with things that they need to take care of, and that the person claims that they were the sole caregiver and they should have that right to do all that, which is not the case. Have you come across a bit of those type of situations?
I think you might be referring to children who live in the home, say with a parent who's aging.
Right. Thank you.
They're showing signs of dementia. And so they have a document, a trust or a will. They have a document, but at some point a change occurs.
Right.
Well, if that amendment occurs and it's signed and notarized, there are some things that can be looked at if you challenge that. Did the person know they were signing the change? What state of mind were they in? You could ask the witnesses who witnessed the signing, what did they observe about the person signing it? And then if you have evidence, there are some factors that you could bring before the court to prove undue influence on a person, but it's not easy to do, but you bring in your facts that say the person had a relationship with the parent that would give them access to them, that they had the type of relationship where they were influencing that parent, and it's clear that the parent responded to that influence. And then you look at things like an unnatural result, say the first will or trust included all of the children, and then the new one all of a sudden focuses on one child and gives everything to that one child. That's something that could be called an unnatural result. And so there are factors that the court would consider if someone felt that there had been a change that was the result of undue influence. Beyond that, if a person wants to change their will or their trust to exclude or include any of their children, they are free to do that. You have to look at the factors of each case and see if there are circumstances that indicate that something untoward has happened.
Right.
But often, Mina, what happens a lot of times, parents who are left with the children who stay home and care for them, they do develop relationships with those children, and they do establish a closer bond sometimes.
Yes.
And for that reason, they do switch some of the property over to the other child.
Right.
I would say the best thing to do is stay in touch with your loved ones and make sure they know you love them. Yeah.
Exactly. That's right. Because time flies and we all get caught up, and being in touch, you could always make the time to do that no matter what you need to do. Denise, I want to let everyone know, because I know you're a wealth of information, you're great at what you do, and your patience level is tremendous. I'd like to let people know how they can get in touch with you should they be facing a litigation, probate, inherited property, or personal belongings issues. How would they get in touch with you?
Well, I'm at Randall and Associates. We're located in Los Angeles on the corner of Stocker Street and Santa Rosalia in the Crenshaw District. Our telephone number is area code 213-384-0470. My email, well, I'm not going to give my email on the radio. I think that's opening up too much.
You may have admirers, you know.
I have a slew of email to open tomorrow, and I'm not looking for. I wouldn't look forward to that.
Yeah. So Denise, what you could do is maybe have someone from your office, because while we're on the radio, we're also on Facebook, and in the comments area, they can post the information under our show today. So you may want to let them know that, because people can access this on Facebook at any time on KHTS Hometown Station Facebook page. And again, I want to thank you so much. I look forward to working together, and have a blessed day. And I will talk to you real soon.
Thank you, Mina. Goodbye.
La Rocca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to laroccainspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
Felicia Dorado Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Dorado's Insurance Agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Dorado's Insurance Agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Hi, thank you for listening to Listed by Mina Kuper on 98.1 FM, 1220 AM, and on Facebook Live. I am so excited. I love all the people I have on my show, and this radio show is meant to give people information about things and professionals that would be involved in their lives, especially when it comes to trust, probate, divorce, and more. And I stumbled upon someone who I was cleaning out someone's inherited property. I'm a realtor, and I thought this was such a cool business. And Amy Spahr is the owner of the Junk Luggers of Greater Santa Clarita Valley. And I just love the name. I just thought it was so, so cool. And Amy, are you there?
I am.
Okay,
Hi.
I just loved it. I mean, that whoever came up with that name, Junk Luggers, I love it. I know you service Santa Clarita area, and it's so needed because we all have junk, right? I mean, who doesn't have junk?
Absolutely do.
Who wants to help and get the junk luggers out of your world? And you know, as because I love it so much, when you hire me to sell your property, I will pay for your junk lugging. Because I just like saying it. I will, because I think it's great. I don't want to do it. You'll do it. So describe your business. You know, that's probably a good thing for people to hear.
Yeah. So we are a full professional furniture and junk removal company. The twist that we have is that we very much want to donate, recycle, or repurpose every item that we can. And our whole desire is to have landfill diversion. So when we come out, we will give you a free, no obligation estimate. It could be something like one item, like a couch or a love seat or a mattress, or it could be that you're redecorating your study and you need a whole new set, or your garage. Anyway, or it could be a full estate clean out, or you're downsizing, or you're staging your house for a sale. Any case, you would call us, and then we would come out and give you a free, no obligation estimate on what it would cost to remove the items. And again, as I mentioned, our focus is to donate, recycle, and repurpose. So any type of donation receipt that I would get goes back to the customer.
Awesome. And what made you decide to open your business?
That is an excellent question. This is new. We opened in January. Prior to that, I have spent the last 27 years in the mental health field. I ran treatment centers for addiction, for eating disorders, anxiety disorders, trauma. For the last 26 years, I've been a clinical director. And 2020, as I'm sure for most of your listeners as well, was a really rough year, especially in mental health and trying to run a treatment center and keep our clients safe and our staff safe. And it was just challenging. And I think, I'm an empty nester. My kids are in college and they're getting ready to launch on their own. And so I just had this opportunity to really look at what I want for the next chapter of my life. And I've really thought about different opportunities. I've read some books about owning your own business, and I was really attracted to the idea of doing a franchise, so something that has some support, some infrastructure that helps you, because I've never been a business owner. I've only ran businesses for other people. And so I hired a coach, and he gave me a couple of options, and my top three requirements were that it had to be in a business where I'm helping others. That had to be a priority. And then it had to be something that was in our community and was improving our community, and also the environment was the third. And so I would have never, ever guessed that I would be running a furniture junk removal company. That wasn't on my horizon. But once I met the CEO and I met other owners, I really was attracted by their mission and their vision, and have been just really, really glad that I did make a change. Every day I feel like I'm able to help others, and it's just been a joy. And so, yeah, that's the answer. It wasn't.
I want to grow up and love
yes,
junk.
yes.
Well, now they may have changed. If they're younger adults listening to this, they may decide to love junk. Because
absolutely,
everybody has junk, right? Everybody has junk.
And people get excited to get their space back and to be able to let go.
And that's a mental cleanse also.
It is.
Whether you're moving or not, it's a mental cleanse. You have when I go away, right, and I know that I'm in a different environment, I don't have all my stuff, I realized I don't need most of that stuff because I did a few weeks without it. If I go to my second home or something, I don't have all that stuff. I just take what I need and realize I don't even miss the stuff that I don't have with me, even though I keep it anyway, right? So it's interesting, right? And I actually feel lighter on my toes when I don't have all
and then
that
to
stuff.
know somebody who needs stuff can benefit from the stuff you don't need.
Exactly.
And so
you're not just throwing
that's
it out.
the full circle.
With a purpose, junk with a purpose. You know, but someone else, so what would they say? There's a saying, someone's junk, maybe someone's prize, someone's trash, maybe someone else's possession, or something like that. I don't know. So when something like that. So what's a typical day for you like? I mean, you know, it's interesting. You wake up and have your coffee or not.
Always coffee, yes.
Yes, you got to get all amped up, right?
Yeah. And definitely a good breakfast because it is a physical job. And I would say
you don't need the gym because you're doing it's a 2-in-1, which is great.
Yes, yes. I'm definitely fit in my 50s more than I've ever been any other time of my life.
That's so funny. Love it.
I would say there's not as typical, but what it genuinely is, we may have 2 appointments in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon, but when you arrive to the appointment, you'll, have a background, and it could be, that you're going to get a mattress or something, and sometimes that's all you do. You get the one item, and sometimes things change. Worked with a realtor last week who had just hired us for a mattress and possibly an appliance, and when we showed up, unfortunately, the buyer had left a whole truckload of unwanted items, and so and it was the day of the close, so I moved around some of the other appointments and ended up taking the morning then to do that, and like today is a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was fully furnished, and we had to put away all of the appliances and household goods, box and bag them. So today would be a full day of a job versus several little jobs. But the neat thing is meeting the different people, and then when we load our trucks, we always keep in mind that we want to recycle, donate, and trash. And so that's, usually trash goes in the back, and then your donations go in the front. So after this job, then we'll hit the donation centers, and if it's too late in the day, then we take it to storage until the next day.
So it's interesting. It's almost like a scavenger hunt. What are some interesting items you found, and what do you do with them? I mean, I'll be like, oh, cool, depending on where the house is, I'll come join you and see, but we can all look around, see what we can find, some nuggets in the rest.
Right.
What have you found?
It's always interesting. Today I have a cutout of Barack Obama.
Oh, wow.
It's interesting. Some really neat things that we have found, because I always try to figure out who can be an owner, who could be somebody that wants this. And so, we helped a family move out of a house they had lived in for over 20 years, and they had some large stuffed animals that were their kids at one time. They were in pristine condition. So I put them up on our Facebook for some of our Mothers Outreach, and in less than probably 20 minutes, somebody was there to come and get them.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, we had the same family had a spine replica. I think it was related to what he did in his profession, and we called Hart High School, their science department, and asked if they wanted to take it, and they said yes. So it's just being creative about
and it's fun. Every day is different. It's like really cool, because I just feel that I'm sure not everything is pleasant when you go through it, but when you find those interesting places and the interesting things, and how happy people are to be adopting these items because they are something that's needed. It's a beautiful thing. It's like a win-win. I love win-win situations where everyone benefits.
Absolutely.
Right?
Same.
That's the way I roll.
And then you feel good, right? Then you go home.
Oh my God!
Thinking, yay!
As we're talking, I'm trying to think what I can give you to give away I mean, I have maybe dog toys or something that haven't been opened for whatever reason. But I'm thinking, it's funny, it gets you thinking about, because you'd be I'm like thrilled to give it to someone that's going to use it, because they know someone's getting use out of it, and maybe they couldn't afford to get it themselves. Right. What are some of the greatest challenges that you face in this business?
We're talking about part of it. It's, I love to hear from our nonprofits, what do you need? Right. And I know with COVID, things have shut down. And so when people were in their homes and cleaning it, and so they didn't have anywhere to drop it off, or people weren't able to come into the donation centers to get items. And things are starting to open up, which is great, because then more people are able to come to different donation centers and pick up things. But for me, the challenge is always just finding the need, and I'll hold on to it as long as I can. Like I said, I have a storage facility, but I really want to get that donation receipt back to the customer as quick as I can. So if any nonprofits that I haven't connected with have any needs, please email me or text me and let me know what you have. I had a really nice conversation with the executive director at Single Mothers Outreach yesterday, and fabulous organization with a great mission. And so, being able to hear how we can support our local communities is really important to me.
Oh, totally. And, if you have like some blankets that may be worn looking, the local shelters, animal shelters, always are looking for blankets and things like that. And they don't have to be in the best condition, but just something for the animals to be comfortable with. So, like I said, everything, today, I think most things could be reusable in some shape, way, or form. And that's what I love about this. I hate anything going to waste. I am like that. Just in general. That's my personality. If I can, I hate, some people just get rid of things and have no attachment to it. Right. But I need a home for it. Then I'm okay parting with it. If I just know I'm leaving it or people throw great things in the trash, and I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, how do you live? How do you sleep at night?
Or have you been to a landfill?
I get into it with them. I'm like, how do you sleep and how do you do this? There's so many people, so many things. Give it to me, I'll do it. I'll get rid of it for you and give it to someone that needs something. So I know you've been a local in Santa Clarita for a long time. So how long have you lived in Santa Clarita, and what do you love the most about living in Santa Clarita?
We have been here over 10 years. My kids went to Peachland, then Placerita, then Hart High School. It, I think, goes back to people. We have some of the nicest, warmest people. I feel like I've always been welcomed. It's a great community to raise a family. It's a great community to live.
And it's truly a community. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you have everything you need in 15 minutes. And so, and support. If you need anybody, any help or, there's always an organization. There's always someone that would love to rally and support your family or your organization. So I love that. I also, our weather is amazing. I came from Phoenix. So Phoenix is beautiful 6 months of the year, and then really hot for 6 months. But we love to hike, and so there's some amazing trails. And that, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, that was a nice story, too. So we had a gentleman donate a bunch of lawnmowers and weed whackers and just a bunch of equipment, and they weren't working. It was not in good condition. They had sat on his property in Acton for a long time. And I contacted a volunteer who works for SCV who does our trails. And so he took all of it. It was probably 15 different types of equipment and refurbished them so that the other volunteers can use them. So our hiking trails are nicely cut. So it's, again, community working with community to help support one another.
So what have some of your biggest accomplishments in your life and your career been? And I know that what you've been doing in every aspect has been, I'm sure, rewarding, helping the way you do.
Yeah, I think on a personal level, being a mother is probably my biggest accomplishment. I have a soon-to-be 20 and 22-year-old who are amazing young women. They also help me at Junk Luggers from school. They'll help with, one of them's an HR major and the other loves social media, so they help me post things, or I didn't know how to do a reel and they had to walk me through it yesterday. Same with YouTube. They had to coach me
that's
through.
Great. Now I can make you feel guilty because I had you on the show and they can help me for free. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
Yep. So I love being a mom, but I think as now as a business owner, I think I've only been doing this for a couple of months, but I'm pretty proud of it. Certainly, being a female and probably a more male-dominant industry is pretty cool for me. And I think just being able to have been a social worker for 27 years, and I've met a lot of individuals and families in crisis, and it was a blessing to be able to see people who are in the depths of addiction or in the depths of an eating disorder that's destroying their life, be able to find health and happiness and in balance in their life. So.
And now you can deal with hoarders. Hoarders is
absolutely.
So it's the same thing. I've walked into hoarders' houses, and it's just wild. I mean, there's just not one corner that's left open, and it's also addiction.
Yep.
So maybe you can connect junk lugging and a hoarding seminar.
Yep,
and do the together because it would help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of that is for them to be able to let go, and that's the hardest process. They get overwhelmed.
That's right.
And
once you do, it's okay.
Yep, it's anxiety. So you got to push through it. You got to challenge those thoughts, those fears, whatever it is that's keeping them stuck. And then you get them going and donate, and then, it may be just one small room, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But it definitely is a compulsive behavior that has to be addressed through therapy, which it is just that, just going through the exposure and giving away the stuff. Yeah. And especially because most of the times, if it's a severe level of hoarding, then it's usually not a healthy situation for them to be living in.
Right. Exactly. So I think what's important to ask, because of all the wonderful things that you've done and are doing now, who has been the most influential person to you?
I would say my parents. I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and my dad was a college basketball coach, and my mom always worked out of the home as well. And I think they taught me the perseverance, integrity, hard work, being true to who you are, and even if it's not taking the easy road, but taking the road that is morally, the right road. And I think that's been, a foundation for me that I've had to use quite a bit. And then I've had amazing female leaders along my way that when I didn't think that, I could be an executive director or, I could do, managing 2 facilities in 2 different states, be able to coach me and be able to bring me up, and so I think that's
amazing
for me. Yeah, what I want for my kids.
It's great. And it's great for our young listeners, or not so young listeners, to know that whatever you put your mind to, be unstoppable.
Absolutely.
To have a support system. And Amy's the perfect person as an example, to be a mentor. There's no place to go but up.
Yep.
And you don't look back and only deal with people that will help you in that track.
Absolutely.
And what's the best way for listeners to get in contact with you? Because, we're while we're on the radio on 98.1 FM and 1220 AM, we're also streaming live on KHTS Hometown Station on Facebook. So people can access your information when you can, chat with people in there. I know we have quite a bit of followers on the page, and but why don't we talk about what's the easiest way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. My cell is always attached to me, and having run treatment centers 24/7, I appreciate responsive, quick communication. So please text or call me, and my number is 661-752-5101. I am also on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. So you can just search Amy Spahr or Junk Luggers of Santa Clarita, and we'll pop up. And we also have a website at junkluggersofscv.com. And Santa Clarita is our primary focus, but we also are greater Santa Clarita. So today we're in Sun Valley. We go down as far as Tahunga, Somar, and then we go over to Chatsworth, Granada Hills, North Hills, Canoga Park.
Nice.
So our territory expands past the Santa Clarita Valley as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great to know. I didn't even know that. And again, please share in the comments on Facebook so people that are driving who cannot write down the information will be able to take a look on our show today at any time they want to. Again, Junk Luggers is JUNKLUGGERS. I just love the name. I'm going to call Junk Luggers for you today.
We love one lug at a time. And that's
one lug at a time. A slip and a slip. So anyway, I want to thank you, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait to get more houses to sell that have junk, because I'm going to be very philanthropic with that, and I'm sure most people will agree, especially the people I deal with. All my clients I've sold houses for, and their attorneys or what have you, have been such amazing people. The universe brings like minds together, right? Whether it's you bump heads somewhere in some way, shape, or form, and you end up just organically picking those people into your life. And I'm really happy to have you in mine. So
awesome.
I'm
Me
super
as well.
excited.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to do some great junk lugging together.
We're going to do great things.
Yeah.
Yep.
When people tell me, there's so much stuff. Okay. When people tell me there's so much stuff, I'll say, don't worry, I have junk luggers. We'll take care of that. Anyway, Amy, have a great rest of the day. And
Mina, you as well, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life. LaRocca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to laroccainspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
I love it.
Right on.
Your hometown station.
Thank you for joining me with Listed by Mina Kuper. We're about probate, trust, divorce, inherited properties, and more. So I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. and I'm here to help people understand the process because I know there's a lot of confusion, and people are not always always have the time to go through all these types of issues that happen in life, and we all get thrown a stick or a bone or a stone sometimes, and we don't know what to do. And so initially when COVID happened, I decided to share these wonderful professionals that I know and also help you with your real estate needs. I'm available in Santa Clarita, Passaic, Pasadena, Burbank, a lot of Southern California, because some states, probates or estates or inherited properties have more than one property in an area, and I'm able to navigate with my team, who's awesome, and help the families and their professionals through all of the sales of properties and, of course, removing their junk. So I would love to, invite everyone to call me at 310-345-8500 with any questions that you may have if you're going to be in a situation. I'm also an author on how to sell your inherited properties, not books. And I can also, if you go to my website, you can download a free copy of that. And I welcome a Zoom call and a phone call with you so I can help you through the process. And even if it's in another state, I know people. So call me. Again, listed by Mina Kuper, Keller Williams. My number again is 310-345-8500. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And thank you for joining me.